aware of the environmental problems, realizing that we need to change both our behaviors and the environment in which we live in as soon as possible. As such, a growing number of people are building their homes to be eco-friendly. This week on The Ghanaian Farmer, we travel to Soma in the Eastern region to visit a community that is fast springing up called Migrating Culture Crossing, owned by a U.S. citizen, Eric. And he has had the inspiration to actually purchase over 200 acres of land to turn it into an eco-friendly community. Let's get to meet Eric and find out the drive and inspiration. As you may know, a lot more Africans are crossing and using illegal means to travel to Europe to make a living. But here is an IT specialist who has worked over 50 years in the US, relocating to Ghana and constructing or building a whole community. It's not all about farming every day. Let's get to find out how we can actually live in an environment that also suits and help build our farming activities. My name is Anyunam, and thanks for joining me on The Ghanaian Farmer. If this is your first time seeing our channel, do something to help me. Subscribe and press the notification button so you get to see all our videos. And for those who have been with us for these 3 years, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time. Now, I'm going for a quick breather. When I come back, I'm going right there to see Eric and find out the whole story. When did he arrive in Ghana? He says he's a citizen now. When did he get that green card or that light to tell him he's now a Ghanaian? This and many more conversation are we going to be having on this episode. Come with me. You got to welcome me.
I'm going to give you the welcome. I'm going to welcome you. And he can play one too, but I'm going to play.
No, you got to play something for me. Okay.
All right.
All right. So that's it. Thanks for staying by. This is The Ghanaian Farmer. My name is Anyunam, and everybody calls me Ghana's finest farmer. Today or this week, I'm all the way in Soma in the Eastern region. And I told you, I find myself in a community, an eco-friendly community called Migrating Culture Crossing. And seated next to me is Eric, who is the CEO, the founder of this eco-friendly community that is springing up in the heart of the Eastern region. Eric, thanks for joining me.
Akwaba.
Wezo, Eric, Wezo. You say yo.
Yo.
Awesome. Right, so Eric, now let's get to know who Eric is. Eric, what's the full name again?
It's Eric McNeil.
Eric McNeil. Tell me, who is Eric McNeil?
Well, first of all, I'm also Kwesi. So
all right.
Sunday born.
Oh, good. My father is called Kwesi as well.
Okay, well,
yes.
Very honorable name.
Right.
I like you already.
Awesome. Awesome.
And well, what you can see that I'm not is a drama, right?
Mm-hmm. You don't know anything.
All right, so I'll put the drama aside.
That's okay.
For Fofo right
Right.
now. But yeah, so I moved here from the U.S. I'm born in the U.S. and I moved here 7 years ago.
Okay.
To live a sustainable life, and in that 7 years, I haven't been back to the U.S. even to visit. So I came here. I found 5 acres in the mountain, built a home, off-grid, eco-friendly, self-sufficient home where I could grow my own food, have my own borehole, and have my own solar.
Okay.
And that's was the start of this project.
Okay.
Is when I did that.
Okay.
So my background is in IT.
Okay.
So I graduated with a degree in computer information systems. And for most of my career, I've owned a computer networking company where I design and troubleshoot and maintain computer networks. And
okay.
So that is.
So how long have you worked in that sector?
Maybe some 20 years. I actually, when I graduated from high school. In about 2 weeks after I graduated, I enlisted in the U.S. military. And even in the military, I was working with computers.
Oh, so you actually worked in the military before?
Yes, I was in the military for 3 years.
Oh.
And because I needed money for college and I didn't have money.
Okay.
So I'm the youngest of 9 children.
Ooh.
And so I looked at my older siblings, and when I was in school, I wasn't nearly as smart as they were.
Right.
People used to tease me about that. Hey, why aren't you smart like your older brothers and sisters? And so I used to be a very bad child in school. And so when I was graduating, I barely graduated. And when I was graduating, I didn't want to worry my mother and father about trying to get them to pay money to send me to college, because I knew that I didn't do anything in high school, so why should I worry them? So I just said, okay, the best thing for me to do would just be to join the military.
Okay.
And that's what I did.
Okay,
and
you raised some money, go to college.
I raised the money, you know, I stayed 3 years, had enough money to come and then go to college. So the military helped pay for that college.
Right. Okay. Tell me, how is life like in the U.S.?
Well, life it's not as good as it used to be. I tell you that. You know, they show you all of these good pictures,
fancy buildings.
Hey, and just you know, as many fancy buildings you see dilapidated buildings.
Okay.
There's a huge homeless population.
Right.
Now, for some people, it's good. Like for me, for instance. I've always been able to make good money because of my skill set and what I do, but I don't represent the majority. By no means do I represent, you know, I'm probably the exception.
Okay.
And so I was always able to afford a good living in the U.S., but when you look around at the majority, there's so much.
A lot of trouble.
Trouble brewing.
Okay.
And then you have contentions between the different races. You have, you know, when I was little, you used to see fruit trees growing in the community. Now, if you go in the community, there's no
You
fruit
barely
trees.
see any. Okay.
Yeah, you know, like in Ghana, when I came and I'm driving down the street and I just see fruit trees and people farming. I was like, whoa, that's different. You know, so it was very strange to me, but it was what I was looking for.
Okay. At what stage in your life did the idea of look for where you hail from, where your great-grandparent hailed from, and finally decided to actually visit Ghana? At what point in your life?
Well, when I was in college, I used to study African history.
Okay.
And there used to be a nearby bookstore, African bookstore, called Amin Raz, and I would just spend hours over there reading through the books on African history. And even the owners, Dr. Sharon and Dr. Dana, they used to teach at my university. And I still know them today. So that bookstore gave me an insight on Africa. And, you know, and it just gave me the whole motivation to come here. I was like, you know, I want to visit. And around 2013 is when I really got serious because I started seeing things that were happening around the world. And I said, this is not going to be good, especially for America. It's not going to be good because it looks to me like a dying empire, just like the Roman Empire. And it's like, I don't want to be a part of that. So let me move to Africa where I could be self-sufficient.
Right.
So
when it comes to Africa, we have the Eastern Africa, the Southern Africa, the West Africa. So why of all this you settled on Ghana?
On Ghana. Well, before I came to Ghana, I had never even visited Africa, never visited the continent. And, you know, my brother did a blood test.
Right.
And the blood test came back and said that we came from Ghana, Nigeria, and Cote d'Ivoire.
Okay.
With Ghana, you know, being the primary, and then Nigeria, then Cote d'Ivoire.
Okay.
And so I said, okay, Ghana, that looks, then another thing, because of the language, most people speak English here. And then there's a vibrant economy here, and it was closest to the American culture. Even though different, it was similar. So I said, okay, I'll take a trip there for 1 month and check it out. and I came October 2015. I stayed a month. Before I left that month, I had decided that I would make Ghana my home.
Okay.
And while I was here, now, you know, of course, when I saw all of the beautiful women, that had something to do with it too.
Oh, Eric, you're a bad boy.
Hey, I was like,
Right.
I think in the U.S. we've been cheated. So I say, hey, you know, because you're 30 million people here.
Right.
You know, in the U.S., you know, we are, the black people are maybe 13% of the population. So you just don't see like everywhere. So here it's like everywhere you went,
exactly.
boom, boom,
and
so that had a little something to do with it.
Okay.
And then, you know, when I was here, that was a song that it was one of the ladies that I met when I was here, and she had this song playing. Good mood. I'm in the mood to do you some real good. And I fell in love with that song. I was like, oh, this place I'm going to move in.
I see. Interesting. So which year are we talking about?
This was in 2015.
2015.
Yes.
So you arrived in Ghana 2015.
That's when I visited.
That's when you visited?
Yes. So that was October.
Time. Okay.
I stayed a month.
Right.
And then when I went home, I saw my family in December of 2015 and for a Christmas gathering. And I said, family, I'm moving to Ghana.
Okay.
They said, hey.
Right.
So they thought I was crazy. And they said, you're going to move to Ghana when? I said, well, as soon as I can.
Right.
And 2 months later, I had sold everything and I was on my way to Ghana.
Okay.
February 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you first came, where did you settle?
We settled in the Medina area.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, Bowtree. I moved there.
Right.
And I had gotten married, and we immediately began looking for land.
Okay.
So the whole idea was to find land outside the city, because I came here to build a self-sufficient life.
Exactly.
And so I found land about 20 minutes from this land, and it's in the eastern region, but it's in the area near Dodowa.
Okay.
It's a little past Dodowa. And I found 5 acres, and that's where we started building. So it was like time we got here, we started looking for land.
Okay. Okay. So you lived there for how many months or a year before actually looking for a bigger place to create this community?
About 4 years.
Okay, you stayed at the first place for 4 years.
Yeah, about 4 years.
Okay.
Between, you know, about time we moved in. But I sold it maybe after I was living there, maybe after a year. Okay. And I sold it, and we worked out a deal with the new owners. Okay. Because they were in the U.S.
Right.
That I would stay a few more years to maintain it until they got here. So when I sold that land, I had my friends, they had a YouTube channel called Native Born. And I asked them to put it on your channel that I'm selling it. Okay. Because they did an interview with me some months prior. So they put it on the channel, and it sold in like 10 days. And after I sold it, people start calling me from all around the world saying, hey, we saw your house. We want to build something similar. But we don't want to get scammed in Ghana. Can you help us? Okay. I said, okay. And I had always been talking to my builder about building a community. Okay. And I said, this is the opportunity that we can take to build a community. Okay, great. As an IT person arriving in Ghana, why didn't you stay in your lane and veered off into building eco-friendly community? It's a good question. But I still do a lot of IT today because a lot of our marketing is all of our marketing is online, and it requires an extensive website. And it's not just a website, but it's a whole back end that has to draw people in to get them motivated enough to click the order and then pay the money. But it's all about business too, because I'm an entrepreneur. In the U.S., I managed businesses, so it's really, I've seen this as a business challenge. I've even built a much bigger house in the U.S., so I had an understanding of real estate and what people want. And I actually tried to develop a real estate project in the U.S. many years ago where I was trying to buy the old community that I lived in. It was unsuccessful, but I had the knowledge of
So you still use your IT?
But IT is still very, in this world, you have to know computers to be successful.
Okay. Right. One of the biggest fear of people who visit Ghana, being it an African living in the diaspora and is coming to stay, purchase or land purchase is one of their fear because of how people talk about I've been duped, I've been scammed and all that. Now, getting here, even from the 5 acre before this 200 acre, run us through some of the due diligence you did to actually secure your land.
Right. So when I first got here, I met some good people that I still use to this date. One of them, Reverend Kofi, who helped me find my rental properties in Ashley Bowtree and also helped me sell a couple trucks. So it was just about listening to good advice and not acting too quickly, because there were people trying to scam us even as we were looking for land here, and it was only because I had a good understanding of the Lands Commission and how to check things out. And I had good people who could go, because, we started with one gentleman who said he had thousands of acres and gave us the documentation. And when we went to the Lands Commission, the people at the desk said the document was okay, but we had people behind the desk who was like, that documentation is not right. It's you're about to get scammed. So it's just having good people around you and knowing that, just because I'm smart in America or the UK doesn't mean you're smart here. You better listen to some advice.
I see. So visiting the right institution and surrounding yourself with the right people is one way to avoid being scammed if you're purchasing a property here in Ghana. Now, my next question would be Migrating Culture Crossing, that name.
Yes.
How did you come by that name? What inspired that name?
Well, when I started, before we started, my partner, he was using Migrating Culture because he had been here since about 2008.
Okay.
So he had already had the name. And then when we started this project, I said, okay, instead of changing that name, let's leave that name and then let's add Crossing on it, because Crossing is a common name in the U.S. for real estate communities. People know the name Crossing.
Right.
So I said we'll call it Migrating Culture Crossing because, some 400 years ago, many of our ancestors, they crossed during the transatlantic slave trade from the east to the west. So that was involuntary. And now many of those heirs are crossing back from the west to the east, and it's voluntary.
Okay.
So Migrating Culture Crossing.
Right.
Yes.
Great. Now, eco-friendly buildings. When someone hears this word, what is it all about? Eco-friendly buildings.
So we say, we're building an eco-friendly community. We're trying to live in harmony with nature. And we're trying to use things that we already have versus having to import things. So for one, we use compressed earth blocks instead of the concrete blocks.
Exactly.
And that's just like a modern day mud hut. We're used to mud huts in Africa.
Yeah.
And so, they help keep the home cooler. So we're using these compressed earth blocks, and then we just plaster over them so they last forever. So that's one of the examples of how we're being eco-friendly. So, we want to be eco-friendly, sustainable, off-grid, so that we believe that, if you look at Chisako, where they have $1 million homes, the people with these $1 million homes are still getting cancer.
Right.
Why? Because they're not living in eco-friendly and sustainable communities. So we want to live in a way that promotes life and not makes you promote sickness.
Okay. So how many units do you have here?
All right. So we're building a community with about 120 single-family homes, and then we'll have another 120 or so apartments, units. So right now we have about 12 buildings going up, and some of those buildings have 2 homes in it.
Okay.
So it would be 16 homes that are going up currently.
Okay. And I realize that you also have the trees that are on the land. You have not cut them off. You still leave all the trees.
That's right.
And right in front of each house or each building, you have created a place where you can plant
grow,
some few commodities.
We call that our edible landscaping.
Okay,
Right.
edible landscaping.
Everything around your house will be either edible or medicinal.
Okay.
And we'll start you off, but
Right.
you can plant whatever you want to.
Okay.
On your plot. And not only that, but this community, it's a 200-acre community.
Okay.
And we are reserving 30 of those acres for an organic food forest.
Okay.
Yes. So we want your food. I believe your food should go from the farm to your table.
Okay.
I don't want my food being imported from China, whatever. I don't.
You don't know the
what's in it.
source. Right.
Yeah. I want to be able to walk down the road. And if I see Fofo putting something on that food that I don't like, I can say, hey, what you putting on my food?
Right.
And I want the home buyers to have the opportunity to do the same thing.
Right.
And it keeps us honest.
Okay. So how long has it been since you started this eco-friendly community?
Just over 2 years we started.
2 years.
Yes.
How many units have you built so far?
So the 16 units are what's going up. So 2 of those homes are due this year.
Okay.
The other homes that are going up are due next year.
Okay.
So it's based on when that person purchased.
Right.
Typically, like the first couple buyers, they gave us 2. We got 2 years, and then everybody else, it's a 3-year process.
Okay. So how many have you sold so far?
Since we've been here, we've sold about 65 homes. So we are, for the homes, we're halfway sold out of the homes. And we just added the condominium apartment units.
Okay.
But the homes we're halfway, we've sold about 65.
All right. So let's say I'm a single woman. I want to purchase the single unit. Okay. How much am I likely to purchase for? I mean, how much is it costing me? And what's your payment plan?
All right, so the least expensive that we sell is a studio condominium studio. And it retails about $42,900, and it's in US dollars. But most of the people, they have been purchasing under our half price home promo. And the half price home promo goes until December 31st. And we basically offer a 50% discount if that person pays all the money up front and give us 3 years. So that means for that $42,000 unit, you get it for $21,000. Okay. And then our most expensive home is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom home. It retails for $244,000 US dollars, but most people are purchasing it for $122,000.
Okay. All right. How long does it take to construct a whole 1 unit?
Well,
how many days, a week, so month?
It actually doesn't take. If you were just doing that unit, you can do it in a few months. Okay. But a lot of people, and a lot of people want to know, okay, well, why is it going to take 3 years? Right. Because we're not just building your house. We have a whole community that we're developing. Sometimes you have resources to put over here. Sometimes you can't just, dedicate it to one house. Okay.
Okay. All right. So I realized that when we're driving through, we saw carpenters. So the furniture that is in the unit or each apartment is actually made right here. We saw masons who are actually molding the blocks. We saw water, and then you have solar. Even the fan, viewers, I'll let you see it. This is my first time, and it's so unique. The fan is made of wood. What went into the interior deco? What went into that?
All right. So what we told the home buyers is that we can build you a nice home, but you can't choose anything in a home. Okay. If you want us to do it, then because a lot of times, what drives the price of a home up is the customization. Right. But if you take that away from the person and you do it, you can build a nice home. And what we do is some of the things are imported from China, like the ceiling fans. We imported them, so we import a lot of them at one time, and the home buyer doesn't have a choice. And then some of the things we make on site, like the cabinets,
Right.
they're real hard wood, where we purchase the wood at the wood mill in Achimota, and then our carpenters, make the cabinets.
Right.
And then we use local companies for our appliances. You see Nashville, whom we purchased most of our appliances from. So it's all about coordinating so that you can get the highest quality home at the lowest price.
Okay. How many workers do you have under your watch?
Depending on what we're doing,
Okay.
we could have upwards of 40 workers so far. Like when we were doing the foundations and we needed a lot of masons and stuff, we had about 40 people over here. Now we've gotten through that phase and we're just trying to finish with special artisans who need to come and do the finishings in the home. And they kind of come one at a time, but we're working on the entrance gate. So we have about 20 workers now going on, so about half. But soon, after the end of the year, we'll be breaking ground on the next pocket. So we'll have another about 50 workers out there.
Right. Eric, I have a problem with you, which is we are in Ghana. Now you are Ghanaian. When did you get your citizenship? When did you get it?
I got it in December of last year.
December last year?
Yes.
So now you are a full-blown Ghanaian.
I'm a full-blown Ghanaian.
All right.
I have my Ghana card.
Nice. A full-blown Ghanaian. I must commend you for creating jobs. I must commend you for wanting to live in peace with nature. That is why you're even creating an eco-friendly environment. But then my problem is, why are you selling in dollars and not in cedis?
You know what? It's because most of our buyers are from the diaspora. We've sold so far, out of those 65 homes or so, all of them come from the diaspora. Most of them are Ghanaians living in the diaspora. We've sold to people from the US, the UK, Jamaica, Germany, Denmark, Holland, Hungary.
Right.
So all of them come from the diaspora.
Okay.
So when you start talking to them about city, they get so confused. So all of them like to hear in dollar, So this is why we sell in dollar.
You are saved by the bell.
And you know what? And we tried to sell to the local community. The reason I moved into town was to try and sell to the local community. But they told me, if we have money to live out there, we would not live out there because we want to live in the city. And they said, and if we build a home in a village, we're going to go to our own village and build. So far, none of the locals will buy here. It's only the diasporan Ghanaians who purchase here.
So as it stands now, your target market are the diasporans
It's
who
the
are trying to
diaspora.
purchase property in Ghana. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay. How has it been for you, your first year arriving here in Ghana, adjusting in the system, getting to understand our way of thinking, our way of living, eating? How easy or difficult was that for you?
Oh, it was pretty simple for me because, they say I'm a bush guy. Even when I purchased the 5 acres, even the locals were like, "Oh, Bruni, you're mad. Why are you purchasing in the bush when you can live in the city?" And so I purchased in the bush and I built and I eat all the local foods. I eat the fufu, the banku, akle, kokante, kontomri. So I eat all of the local foods. I eat the bush meats, I eat the mampong, the grass cutter.
Hey, Eric!
Hey, achapo.
Eric is eating mampong. Hey, Kratty.
Hey.
Why are there?
Yo.
Right.
Yeah, even the big termites, they fly when the rain comes down and we catch them and then, and then we cook them. Oh,
I see.
Hey,
You're really enjoying.
I'm enjoying.
So it was easy for you.
It was so my
adjusting,
adjustment was easy because I was wanting this life, and then when I was married, my wife she showed me how to make the local medicine.
Oh, you even married?
I was. Hey.
Eric found love in Ghana. Oh, awesome. Right.
But I make all my own medicines.
Okay.
I don't go to the doctor.
Right.
I don't go to the pharmacy. You know, like you see out there, we have a huge neem tree.
Okay.
You know, so if I get sick, I go get me some neem leaves and get me some soursop and the pawpaw leaves and, you know, get the mango leaves and cook it up. And, you know, and I make my own medicine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. What's the future like for migrating culture crossing community? I mean, how soon are we seeing this whole big dream become complete? How soon is that?
I'll say this is an ongoing project for the next 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, and I'll be, you know, I'm building not just the community for people, I'm building my retirement community. So I'll be here.
Right.
So because I'll be living here, I don't want to build these cheap homes where people be knocking on my door for the rest of my life saying, hey, I got problems with my home. So we're building quality homes. And I'll be here.
So we are here for the next 10 years.
Yeah, so I'll be here, you know, building, you know, because this community will feature amenities like swimming pool, gym, wellness center, you know, amphitheater, jogging trails. We'll have a commercial area over here. We'll have school. We'll have a police department. We'll have the fire department here. So it'll have everything that you need to live. This is a gated community. We'll have 24 by 7 security. All of the homes will have, well, they have to buy their own solar system, but they can buy that from us, so they can buy it from their own source. They'll have security cameras, and they'll have alarm systems.
Did you find the sense of peace, comfort that will give you the room to invest? Have you found it in Africa? Because when Africa is mentioned, even Africans who are living in the diaspora, most of them have weird and negative perception. How do you change that narrative watching or talking to people who are watching the same thing?
You just can't be so quick to spend your money and thinking that the same systems that you're used to in the West exist here. If you use the systems here, then the process is straightforward. But if you're trying to use the systems that you're used to in the West, you're going to get tripped up, you know, because, for instance, like the court system in the U.S., it makes it where if something happens during your transaction, you can take the person to court and you can be, you know, fairly assured that you're going to get your money back. But here, you know, once you give that person the money, you better know that this person is going to deliver for you. Because the court is out. You know, just do business with good, honest people up front.
Eric, there are a lot of young Africans who are selling properties just to rush out of Africa. Ghana, every day when you go to the airport, they will say, as a winning. You will see a lot of them. Those who are paying money to people who are defrauding them, those who are using illegal means, get drowned in the sea. Some arrive there finally, they become homeless, jobless, they deport them back. But here you are, an IT person earning good money, living comfortably in the US, and you are here building eco-friendly community. What do you have to tell these people who are running out?
Oh, I tell them to run at the resources here, because Africa has more resources than any continent on earth. And everything we need to survive has to come out of the ground. And you look at Ghana, you know, you have a fertile land, you have gold, you have all of these plants growing that, all of these plants is how they make medicines, you know. So I tell them to invest here in their home and grow it. And they would not want for anything. It's just about using your mind. You have to develop your mind before you can benefit from your country. So yeah, I love it here. I wouldn't leave for the world. This is my home now.
This is your home.
This is home.
I love it. Now, coming from Accra, I realized there was a university just a few drive away from your place. Which university is that?
That's the University of Environment and Sustainable Development.
Okay.
It's a new government university, sits
Right.
on about 300 acres.
Okay.
And that's part of the reason we chose this land, because it was so close to this new university they were building. And I felt that, okay, we are a sustainable community. That's a sustainable university.
Exactly.
Let's move there and we can partner with them. And that's just what we've done.
Okay.
The vice chancellor,
Right.
his name is also Eric. He's
Okay.
been over here, and they love it, and we've agreed to partner together.
So let's assume December is around the corner. A lot of diasporans will be arriving in the country. I'm sure people have already started coming.
Yes.
And they'll be looking out for properties like this to actually make inquiries and buy and all that. How do they find you? If I'm coming from Accra or 37,
Yes.
how do I drive to your end?
Okay, so typically, most people, they'll see our signboard in front of the university.
Okay.
That's the easy landmark. But
Okay.
typically, they'll call us and let us know they want to come for a visit. And we usually have them meet us at like the Yilo Krobo Municipal Assembly. And then we bring them back here because it's still a rough road to get back here. And we'll bring them back.
Okay.
So that's, so if they can reach out to us, you can put my information. They can find, our website, www.migratingculturecrossing.com, and also have a YouTube channel that is Eric is Free, and that free is an acronym for financial independence, being responsible for yourself, financial independent, being responsible for yourself, enjoying life and empowering others.
Okay.
And that's what the acronym FREE is for.
Okay.
So on that YouTube channel, I'm always updating people
Okay.
about this project.
Okay.
So that's how they can find me.
All right, so he told you where to find him there in Soma in the eastern region. All you have to do is look for the university. When you get there and you call Eric, he will go there, he will drive there to actually bring you. At this time or at this point in the interview, I'd love Eric to show me some of the interiors that we have in this eco-friendly structure. I'm actually enjoying here. If you are not told that this is not a typical hard block and all that building, you would not believe it. It's so much comforting for an individual to stay in. So thank you so much for watching this. My name is Enyonam Manye. When you see me in time, remember to call me Ghana's finest farmer. Listen, nobody will come and build Africa for us. We are responsible for creating the kind of environment or the kind of nation or city we want to see. But it will not be complete if you are there. You need to calm down. It's an adventure that you have to take, just like Eric did. He has a sibling still in Europe. But I'm sure one day they would come and ask Eric, show me the way. Now, lastly, are you open for partnership? If someone watched this and say, hey, I want to call Eric, maybe I want to sponsor, let's say, 30 units. And then you build for me, I pay you, I use it as a business or anything. Are you open for any form of partnership at all?
Yes, I mean, basically,
Right.
when they buy homes here, they're essentially getting a partnership. We've had some people buy up to 10 homes here.
Okay.
So that was the investment they made.
All right. That's cool. But are you having any support from the community? Are they living in peace and harmony with you?
We love everybody we hire. We typically hire from the community.
Okay.
We have a great relationship with the MP. He's even been on my channel. We have great relationship with the MCE, who I'll be interviewing soon. And his name is also Eric. Great relationship, of course, with the university. So everybody supports this project.
Okay. All right then. At this point, let Eric take me through the place. But Eric, you have to today we are going to play Bobo.
Hey, okay.
Hey, Eric, you have to play. If you don't play today, I'll deal with you.
Okay.
This is how you are welcome. When you arrive right at the entrance of Migrating Culture Crossing Community, these are the drums that will be, you get to hear this. Thank you very much for watching. But we'll make make sure that we show you where the woodworks are ongoing, the masons are working, the uncompleted structures, and of course the completed ones. And I'll show you where the solar is that is powering the AC, the fan, and every other thing that there is to know. But this is it. The Ghanaian farmer, we are not just all about, farming, but there are other elements that makes it complete. And if we're talking about adaptation, climate adaptation, if we're talking about living at peace with nature, we have to encourage people like Eric. If we have more of Eric putting together this community, I'm sure that the climate issue will reduce. Just like I said, the trees are all left right here. They've not cut them down. They just weed around it, clear it, and the buildings are around the trees. It's so beautiful. Thank you very much, Eric.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you. Welcome.
Ghana finest farmer. Now I see why they call you Ghana's finest farmer.
Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you some other time. But for now, it's a bye. Bye-bye.